Hi there, this is Sue from Functional Medicine Plus, and I have something to share with you. Well, first of all, I called Nancy earlier, and I had all kinds of ideas just flying around in my head at the speed of light. I wanted to tell her what I was thinking about writing as far as a blog, what we need to post on Facebook, our videos we need to put on YouTube. I had just ideas flying around everywhere. So after she patiently listened to me, she said, "Sue, why don't you go take a run?" So I did that. And as I was running, a word popped into my head. The word is catastrophizing. Yes, catastrophizing, from the root word catastrophe. And I started thinking about it more and more as I was running, and I thought, I really need to share this with you guys, because I first learned this word when I was studying some functional medicine stuff about the brain regarding depression, anxiety, and how to treat it and why it happens and all that. There is some of this on our website, functionalmedicineplus.com, and we will be adding more and more and more because it's an area that Nancy and I really love. Getting back to the word catastrophe, catastrophizing. When I first saw the word, I actually laughed. I said, "You got to be kidding me. This cannot be a word." So like any inquisitive person, I went to dictionary.com. I found out that it's a verb. And I found that the real definition is making a mountain out of a molehill. After it was properly defined to me, I realized that I am the queen of catastrophizing. So I looked into it further. Now, let me give you an example of what catastrophizing is, because you may also be guilty of the same once in a while. So picture me driving down the highway on my way to give a talk on one of the functional medicine topics, because we like to do that too. Then what pops into my head? Oh, what if I get a flat tire? And then I think, oh, what if I don't have a good place to pull over? There's really no curb or something to pull over to. And then I think, what if I call my husband and he doesn't answer the phone, because he always does my tires? And then I think, that's okay. I can call AAA, but what if they tell me that I'm no longer a member? Then what am I going to do? And what if while I'm on there on hold with AAA, a stranger comes up to my car and decides to kidnap me? Well, I can put my phone on speed dial or emergency call, and I'm all good that way. But still, at some point, I've got to stop this what if. So these things are things that fly around in my head, even though none of them really happened. That is the definition of catastrophizing. But how do you conquer that? How do you stop this process? And this is what we're getting to, and this is really what I want to share in case you're one of those kind of people also. There are 4 tips to do this. Number 1 is you first have to recognize. You have to recognize you're doing it. And if you noticed, I said a lot of what ifs, and my worries got bigger and bigger and bigger and snowballed. That's a classic example. So recognize that when you start to do that. Number 2, as soon as you recognize it, immediately in your head, say stop. As soon as you say stop, you break that chain of thought. You stop on a dime. You're not quite finished. Step 3, then you got to think. And you got to say, really, has this ever happened to me? And what are the odds? That'll go a long way in calming you down a bit. So think about it for a second. And then the last step, number 4, is breathe. Breathe. There's a breathing that the yoga people use that's excellent for this. But they do it in a pattern of, I think, 4, 7, and 8, where they breathe in very slowly, counting to 4, hold it for 7, and let it out slowly over 8. Now, if you are freaked out and catastrophizing, that's a long time to hold your breath and let it out. You can get kind of short of breath. So I would rethink those numbers when you're actually breathing through this. By the time you've gotten done with those 4 steps, you're done catastrophizing and you've got yourself under control. So if you have found this information to be useful, like I have, please share it. Send it out to your friends, because there are probably a lot of closet catastrophizers out there. And I think this will really do a lot of people a lot of good. So thanks for listening, and I hope this tip helps you.